This daf Yerushalmi Orlah in the Art Scholars edition. We are on Tes Zayin Amud Aleph Mamish at the top, starting the second parak, Hachuma Chumas Meiser, which in the Vilna is on the last line, Ches Amud Aleph, but rarely identifiable by being the beginning of a new parak. Hachuma v'Chumas Meiser showed Mai. So you have Chuma, which is regular Chuma, Chumas Meiser, which is Chumas Meiser of the Mai. The Mai, of course, is a fruit you bought from Arts, and you're not sure if you meistered it. So with Rabbanan, you have to take off the Chumas Meiser, even though Rova and Meretz Meisim Heim, this Truma really has applied to the Mai at the time of Chazal. Today, B'zman Hazeh, there is Truma of the Mai because even the Ameoretz, today's Ameoretz, rather, we don't know if they take off even Truma. But B'zman basically the Gemara, I should say, B'zman the Mishnah, technically speaking, they would take off Truma. So it's really a Truma, Karma, Truma Smaiser Shot Mai. But it's Kavchomer Chumas Meiser Shovade, but the same thing. It's even Chumas Meiser of the Mai. Chala and Bikurin only Bechel Meir. They all require 1 in 100 to be cancelled. Proportion of 1 to 100. If it's Min Bamino, then since they're all called Chuma, that is their status. But starting the same set, and they join together. Chuma, Chumas Meiser, Chala and Bikurim fall into Chulin, so they all join together to make up the shear, which must be nullified. In order to nullify one, you have to nullify all when they fall together. And also when they are batal, you have to take up a corresponding amount from the batch and give it to a Kohen on account of Gezel or Shevet. Because you're not supposed to, all this is the Rabban, of course, in order it should not look like you are stealing from the Shevet of Kohanim, which is due to them. Orlah b'kilei hakerem, the prohibitions of Orlah and kilei hakerem are more severe. Only back on the time they require 1 and 2 to portion 1 to 200 to be in patel. Besides they two join together. Don't take anything out of the mixture, not stealing from anybody. And Shimon says they do not join together. Orlah and kilei hakerem are two shemos of Isser. They're not like Chuma, Chumas Meiser, Chal and Bikurim, all the same shame of Chuma, the same status. So therefore, the Orlah and Kilei do not join together. Lezer mitzdarfim, but no Saint Tom. Lezer says that if they get mixed up with Eino then mitzdarif to join them together to make the Isra of no Saint Tom. But Eino it's not the same species. We don't go after the proportion of 1 to 100, 1 to 200. Go after the normal proportion of Shishim. So they do join together no Saint Tom. Avolo le'asor, but not in min b'mino to make up that which answers 1 to 200. Okay, says Gemara. Ha'truma v'chumas ma'aser chulei. L'mi nitzucha. To who do we have to? Why is the ratio necessary? The charts of the pasha, they all have the same status, and halacha being forms of truma. The Rabbi Shimon. According to Rabbi Shimon, Afagad Rabbi Shimon Amar Ein Shtei Shemus Starfin. You know, Rabbi Shimon says that two Yisurim don't join together. Mother's Kulna Shem Truma Starfin agrees that all these have a Chalei Shem Truma, and they all join together to be considered Truma for purposes of Bittul. Matar Truma Shem Meiser Sheld Mai. Truma Mai Sheld Mai. How do I read that? Matar Truma Mai Sheld Mai. Right, Mary. Who includes Truma Meiser of the Mai in the severity of requiring 1 to 100? It's Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir Machad Yivren Shel Torah. Because Rabbi Meir holds a Chavar Machmir by the exeris to the same level of Divrei Torah. V'ha Ashkechon. Here's like Vehechon. Where do we find Meir Machad Yivren Divrei Torah? Meir's Machir by the abundance as if to arises. Rabbi Chanina said, Hayid that which we say over there, by Nida. This is Nida Perikva Mishagimo. A woman who found a stain on a garment. Haroa Kesem, a woman who who sees a stain. Harezim Hukeles, and she's considered to be messed up because she doesn't know if she's a Nida or a Zava, because we know that 7 days in a month, for 7 days a month, it's going to be, it's a cycle of 18 days, 7 which she's considered Nida, and 11 which is considered Zava. If she sees blood during those 7 days of Nida, she's a Nida. She sees the blood during 11 days of Ziva, she's a Zava. She doesn't know this woman. She just found a stain. Chosheshes, but Mishum Zov. She has to be concerned of Zov. Perhaps she's a Zova. Divrei Rabbi Meir. According to Rabbi Meir. So the story about specifically where she finds one kesem. So then Zava is a kula actually, because you only shemes yom keneged yom. She has to keep 1 day of tumah. We're talking about when she found a kesem, a stain the size of 3 grisim, which means it could be 3 stains. And with 3 stains, it could be she saw 3 re'ios. And therefore, she sees 3 re'ios, then she's a Zava Gemura. She's an absolute Zava, which is more chomer than Nida. Not in our day and age. Our day and age, every time a woman sees blood, we assume she's a Zava and has to wait 7 days. But back then, the Nida would only have to wait 7 days, including all the days she saw blood, not wait 7 Shivanakim. So this woman, we're machmir on her, even though it's Kesem Zoid Rabban, Kohen Ramer, and require her to consider herself as if she is an actual Zava. Chashesh Mishum Zov, Divi Rabbi Meir. Chachomrim Ein B'Ksavim Mishum Zov. Chachomrim say, no, by Ksavim there's no halach of Zov. Again, since it's Rabban and Chazal, we're not Mamachmir, they say even if you find a lot of blood, she's not considered to be a Zava, but through a Kesem. Rabbi Yonah asked, this is a new thing, going back to Mishnah, it mentions Chumas Ma'ashel Mai. V'lama lo tina chalas to Mai. Commodity tina, here an interesting change. Yerushalmi doesn't usually quote the Mechal HaMayim, the parish of the Aruch HaShulchan on the Yerushalmi, but here he does. Instead of lama lo tninan chalak the chalas Mai command tina chala, he has lama lo tninan chalas to Mai command tina Chumas Ma'ashel Shel Mai. So we know that there's the concept of demai also by challah. We bought dough from an amoritz, you have to set aside a challah from it. So it says Gemara, no, not true. Lo nisnei chalas demai. That the amoritz are not chashud, not to take off challah. Okay, so in fact they evidently have attributed the same severity as truma. So therefore, yeah, if challah gets mixed in, we don't have to specify challah shodmai because it's not chosh on that. Now, next words, vatni and shumas ma'aser shodmai, mechal mayim and lev Yerushalmi take out because we already used it. It's kind of used it in changing the word challah to shumas ma'aser shodmai. Okay, Rabbi Hanania b'Shem Shmuel said the mai tzarech challah. He says not true. There is the challah by the mai. There's the mai by challah. If you take buy bread from Haaretz or dough from Haaretz, you have to take a challah. Amalei Rabbi Chia Baluliva, interesting name, said to him, "Noitu dama min hashevet." Since it's misafek, when you give it to the Kohen, he has to pay you for the challah. Since it's the Mai, so you say, listen, I'm not sure I'm going to give this to you. You want it? Pay up. Amar Lei, so he said, Shmuel, you're right. Shmuel said that not to Domin Hashevet. Raymond B'Shem Rabbi Yossi said, ain't not to Domin Hashevet. Said, no. He can't take money from the Shevet. Why? Because we're afraid of Hagama, afraid of ruses. Maybe Vadai. Next day he would bring Vadai challah for him to Mayu and say the Kohen it's Mike. They lead to a man of dumim in order to get money from him. Evidently, because there's I guess we're concerned by challah more than by Trumas Meiser because it's a significant amount. It's 124 to 148 opposed to 1/100, and it's also a lot of expensive that got in. It's not raw grain. We're talking about here a dough or a bread, so it's much more significant, and therefore much more likely there could be harama. Rabbi Gamliel Zuga. We've had Gamliel Zuga several times. Of course, we mentioned each time, and he was not. It was evidently it's fascinating that Rabbi Yochanan is asking him a question because Zuga was not necessarily Tam Chacham. He was Ba'abas, but time of the Shaiter, so we speak about, but I doubt he does. He does not. So he changes the gears in the whole Gemara here from Demai to Meduma, but okay, we're not going to go with that. But anyway, so the I guess we want to know what my Bukhazim Amadvar. Want to know what the people are doing. Amar, uh, Amalei said, locate. I guess Gamliel Zula was a bit of time from his answer. Said, Amalei, locate on Rabbi Shmuel Achud Rabbi Brechia. Didn't Rabbi Shmuel say the brother Rabbi Brechia say, Shosh goes Admai? When they made the Gzera Admai, they ascertained that Rova Am Afrishim Masotoch Batayim, that most of the people would set aside challah in their houses. Talk Batayim means when they were making their dough in their house. So, Lamaisa, we say Rova Meretz or Lamaisa, and they still made that kind of the Mai. So I wrote here on the side, Mora, it must have been a greater rove, a more absolute rove than the rove of Amei or its Maisrim. Rabbi Yosef Rabun, Yosef Rabun says, Tanai Bastin, a fascinating thing. He holds that really you have to take off challah from the Mai, from the buy from the Arts. But it's a Tanai Bastin, chalosa b'tzfono. But it's when you buy bread from a baker, it's a Tanai Bastin, even though he didn't designate the challah and the which he was supposed to designate, it's as if he designated it in the north of his dough. And then, evidently, we have to say that it's automatically bottled afterwards, because the Tanai Basin does not then require you, when you buy from the baker, to be choshesh that you got the challah. So it's evidently a fascinating thing that Tanai Basin, it's by baker. I don't know if we pass it this way, but I don't think we pass this way, because I believe that we buy from Nachdom, and you're not sure to go challah. You do have to take a challah, but in any event, here they just automatically made it as if the challah was taken off. The Mecha Mayim says that Yosef Rabun holds that specifically by the Nachdom you don't have to take off because the Tanai Bastin. But actually, if you buy from somebody from a regular Amoretz, you do have to take off Chalas Tamai. So he argues on Gamliel Zuga. The art school interprets Gamliel Zuga as saying that not very much like the Mechamayim, not like the Gra either. That Gamliel Zuga, when he said Rov Ma'amei Arts Ma'afrishan Doch Belteim, he meant to say, yeah, but it's the same Rov like by Demai, and therefore it is Chayiv in Demai. But that's not the Pashut Shah in the Gemara. But it's interesting. The Ridba says Ma'afrishan Doch Belteim. This doesn't mean and the challah just the challah. It's not about challah, but it means and they don't give it to the Kohen. So I'm not sure why not, but in any event, that's how he says. They put mafresh, they keep it at home. But in any event, the easiest pshat is to say that it is. Gamliel Zuga was saying that that's a different type of rove, and therefore there's no chalas t'mai. And Yosef was saying only by chalas nachdom. You don't take off the mai because it's not based in. Since I guess the nachdom we would actually usually take off, and perhaps even those who didn't take off would designate it. They just adding on to what I said before. Perhaps even they wouldn't take it off, but they would at least designate and say, "Oh, challah taken off." And Tanai said, "We mean tzfono," and that's where it's from. And therefore, since they would separate it, I'm not sure about that. I don't know how extended the Tanai Basin is. The question is how far it extended. The Tanai Basin extended even where Nachdom said absolutely nothing. It sounds that way from the Pashut Shah in the Gemara. But in any event, the bottom line is that, according to what the Mechal Mayim says, it's only by Nachdom you don't take a chalas t'mai, but if you buy from a personal Amoritz, they would have to take a chalas t'mai. Okay, we got 2 dots, and we're already on Yud Zayin, and we'll stop.